live from the Export Beer Garden Studio and brought to you as always by Export Ultra, the beer for here. This is the Agenda Podcast for Thursday the 29th of August.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
We like to consider ourselves at the forefront of modern technology when it comes to broadcasting here at the ACC Lane, and with that in mind, today we have duct taped both cameras for this podcast, one to the desk over there and then one to the case that holds the World Test Championship mace.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're digital first, you know, and we're YouTube first. Of course, we're on YouTube.
Yeah, we are on YouTube. This is all an endeavour to get us on YouTube after seeing the staggering, eye-watering amounts that Cristiano Ronaldo got in his first sort of 48 hours of being on YouTube. And we're like, well, what's the difference between us and Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yeah.
We're not on YouTube.
Yeah, correct.
And that's where it ends. So we're now on YouTube. Go and watch it. You can join the 100 of other people that are watching it as well. We haven't talked about Oasis. Are you an Oasis fan?
I think I am, because do you know what, I was in England in 1997.
Yeah.
And man, they were so it's hard to describe how big they were in the kind of mid 90s in England.
Yeah.
Or early 90s, and then like they were the biggest thing. I like them purely because they're funny.
Yeah.
If you listen to some of their press conferences and their one-liners, they're fucking funny.
Yeah, as dudes. You're right. It is hard to explain just how big they were because they don't really seem like rock stars. They just look like two chavs from the fucking north of England.
Which they are.
Which they are as well. And they're great, catchy songs, but you wouldn't say that they're like particularly gifted musicians or singers or anything.
Nah.
And I think that's part of it as well, isn't it?
And off, you know, like what you say, off field, kind of outside of the concerts and everything, they were hilarious because they were a walking headline. And in England, you know, they love a headline, the tabloids.
Oh,
and
of course.
They just kept on providing. And then obviously they had the big dust up. If you listen to a podcast, there's the British Scandals podcast, and there's one on Liam and Noel, and it is hilarious. Like they had proper backstage punch-ups.
Proper
like,
dust-ups.
Proper throwing guitars at each other, smacking each other in the head.
Yeah.
Like, great stuff. Like that nowadays, we got fucking Taylor Swift preaching. It's so boring.
I don't even know who the people are who are the rock stars now.
That's because it's gone all poppy. It's all Billie Eilish.
Sabrina Carpenter?
You know what it is? It's moaning dudes talking about singing high and talking fucking moaning shit. It's fucking horrible.
Is that who it is?
Most of them are. I couldn't tell you the difference because it's saying, yeah, fucking whatever. My whiskey need. Oh, shove it up your ass.
I dare say Oasis were whining as well, but I take your point.
They had guitars and they fought off stage and they smashed beer and they went to Man City games and threw coins.
And I think this has been, what has it been, like 30 years since they popped off, and then it seems like 20 since they played together? Is that?
Oh, yeah. And they've had the biggest, I mean, we know what's brought them together, and that's money.
They're broke, yeah.
They've been paid $110 million or something for this 14-gig tour of the UK.
Yeah.
And they're thinking about going global.
Oh, they could go anywhere.
I mean, yeah.
So many people are so excited about it. They literally just posted like the date, and I saw so many people that I didn't know were Oasis fans resharing it on their Instagram page.
I'd love to see them live. I would love to see them. I've never seen them live. I should have when I was over in England because they were playing everywhere.
Oh, hindsight.
I know. But
I should have gone to Notre Dame. It burned down after I left.
Yeah, it did.
But then I just went there last year and I still didn't go. So do I really give a shit?
This is close though.
Yeah. Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go.
Burned down.
But yeah, so they're coming back. Everyone's fired up about it. Almost immediately, people start ripping off the marketing of it because they just posted a date. Subway have bought billboards and put dates on it because they're bringing back some sort of sandwich or something. It's like, just pump the brakes on that one. Jared?
Matt and Jerry on the Hodaki Breakfast replayed a interview they did with not Noel.
Dave, Tim, Ben, Sam, Liam.
Not Liam, Noel. With Noel. It must have been from about 4 or 5 years ago when he was touring out here on his own. And it's a very funny interview because they do it, obviously they pre-recorded it, so they're trying to encourage him to swear as much as possible. And they're trying to get him to say something controversial. And then, like, they go, okay, and I think you'll have to have a listen to it, but Jerry goes something like, can we get some controversy out? And he goes, well, what do you want? He goes, well, what if I said something like, Noel Gallagher, you have been successful. You've written some of the biggest songs in the world. You're popular, you're rich. Why are you still such a miserable cunt? It's so good. And he belly laughs and goes, he goes, that was good. That was good. What else do you want, Fred? Then they eventually get at him with his brothers of fuckwit. And then they go, yeah, there it is. And they're like, that's nothing new. I've been saying he's a fuckwit for about 10 years. It's a very funny interview.
Didn't say it on our show.
Yeah.
I've saw a video of either Liam or Noel, I don't know which one's which. He was backstage at some festival he's playing. He's making himself a cup of tea. Have you seen that one?
Yes.
He said back in the day we used to have a man who would put the tea bag in, there was another man with the milk, there was another man with the sugar that do it all for you. Now I have to fucking boil the kettle, do the whole thing myself. This is why there's no rock stars anymore.
That's what I love. Like, they're just good fun.
Yeah.
They are good fun. And on stage they've got great banter.
And people are going nuts for them as well.
Yeah.
Like going nuts to the point where a hotel chain in the UK has cancelled all of the bookings around each of the gigs. So anyone that had booked, so people were speculating that they were going to announce a tour, and so they were buying hotel rooms on a whim that this is what's going to happen. And they found out about 48 hours later, all of the hotels cancelled the bookings and are now selling them at triple the price.
Bastards.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, England's not a big country. What you want to do is you hire a driver, get a bus, go there and back. Don't worry about the economy.
That's right. You're so right. It is like Great Britain in its entirety is about the size of the South Island, right? But England itself is basically...
Yeah, and they have an
South
M1.
Canterbury.
They have a 6-lane motorway that goes straight down the country.
Yeah.
So you can go anywhere pretty quickly. So.
Oh, you can get in that bottom left-hand lane where all the lorries are, stone to the gills, and you'll be fine.
You can sit in there.
Allegedly.
You can sit in their draft and not even put on
That's
the
right.
accelerator.
You don't even have to look where you're going because you're only going about 70 Ks, and all you have to do is look at their bumper, and you're sweet, and you'll get to your next job. Safe as houses. We've got
Allegedly.
Reportedly? No, there's no reports about that.
No.
But yeah, just a bit of price gouging going on there. Someone posted on social media as well. I wanted to run this one past you. They recently became a Kiwi citizen and had already gone for a drive in their Subaru to get a flat white. What else can they do to make it official? If you just become a New Zealand citizen, how would you celebrate?
Oh, you got to attempt to eat an oyster or something like that as well.
Yeah.
Some kai moana.
Maybe
McKenna.
Yep.
McKenna would be a good start.
Ram Raider Michael Hill jeweler.
Yeah. Eat a real sandy tuatua fritter.
Move to Australia. Would probably be the first thing I'd do to celebrate. Move to the Gold Coast and pick up a scaffolding job.
You've got to buy some jandals.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's part of the citizenship test. You have to have them before you can get it. Yeah, get a Swanee and a pair of stubbies. Yeah, head down the dairy.
Binge drinking habit.
Pick up a pretty severe binge drinking habit that you just pass off as a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
Just to sort of really, press those emotions down. Bottle them up, I'd say. Start bottling your emotions up.
Yeah, start bottling it now and get a binge drinking habit. I'd save the RAM ratings for a bit later on. I think it's something you should do straight away.
Is it an advanced level thing?
Yeah, I think it's something you grow into as a Kiwi.
I think that's something for the voicemails. Let us know what you would do if you just got your Kiwi citizenship, how you would celebrate to make it official. But speaking of great New Zealanders, the greatest New Zealander of all time witnessed a bloodbath last night. What Billy T. James did to Hillary Barry overnight can never happen again. We need to put guardrails in place to protect people like Hillary Barry. It was a bloodbath.
I sent her a text saying everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
She didn't respond.
Look, not everyone can be the greatest New Zealander of all time. And in fact, only one person can. And unfortunately for Hillary Barry, it will not be her this year. Speaking
of bloodbaths, though, today it could be the biggest bloodbath in history.
Who we got?
Richie McCaw and Harold the Giraffe.
This is tough. And I know if you asked Richie, he would have never wanted this. But Harold's all about it. I feel like Harold wants all the smoke.
Yeah, I mean, look, Richie McCaw's such a great guy. He'd vote for Harold.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
He would.
He does a lot of good in community, Harold. Like, arguably more in the community than Richie McCaw. Going to all those schools.
Yes.
Every week, every day in a different region of New Zealand, Harold the Giraffe is changing lives.
Yeah, no, 100%.
For the better.
No, that's right. No, I think that if Richie McCaw announced that he was going to be visiting every school around the country in the back of a trailer,
yeah,
and he'd like all of your children to go in that trailer with him for an hour of their day, it probably wouldn't get the same response.
No, but instead he flies around looking cool as fuck in a helicopter.
Well, yeah. Conversely, if Harold the Giraffe said that he was going to start flying a helicopter around, I think people would take that a certain way too.
Yeah.
So, it swings and roundabouts. Unfortunately, I think Richie is just a buzzsaw. If you run into Richie, I think he's going to Billy T. James old Harold.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
I think when we start getting into the third round and he starts coming up against your Charlie Uphams of the world, I think that's when it starts going to get a bit spicy.
But unfortunately, I think this is going to be a real bloodbath.
Oh, yeah.
But again, it's not up to us. Go and have your say on the old SoshMed. Facebook and Instagram, you can have your vote. Have an argument in the comments as well. Don't come whinging to us when someone has an argument with you in the comments either.
Yeah,
as
it just
people have been
hurts,
doing.
doesn't hurt. It's okay.
And fire them back.
Yeah.
Let's get this thing going. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back and talk some sport. The salaries of All Blacks assistants have been dredged up because of the whole Leon MacDonald thing. So he's been dismissed 2 months into what was a 4-year contract.
Yep.
So all of the coaching staff presumably were contracted through until the next Rugby World Cup.
Yep.
And Razor's just said, look, let's just nip this in the bud right now. This isn't going to work. We're going to bin you. But he's signed the contract.
But I like the fact that it's not working. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people in a lot of
Marriages.
jobs and marriages and jobs, they just try and work it out. And once it's gone, it's gone. Like, you cannot bring it back. So I think it's a great call. And whatever it costs them, it costs them. It's the same as any other employment issue. If you sign a contract and it gets terminated early, you get a payout.
I would agree with that if there wasn't this whole Silver Lake bullshit hanging over us, because now presumably, so they believe that the salary range is between $500,000 to $700,000 a year.
How they got that figures? Isn't there some sort of privacy?
I'm going to remind you, I do not fact check,
because
so I can't tell you.
The rugby union are not a publicly listed company. Are they obliged to? They're not a charity. Are they obliged to release their salaries?
They wouldn't, but I would. Maybe someone else overseas would. You'd probably know how much you could get on the open market if you went over somewhere else.
Okay, so it's speculation.
Also, Super Rugby are $350K for a head coach. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's a head coach, though. This is an assistant for the All
Look, man,
Blacks.
again, I didn't fact check this.
I don't
know. I'm just plucking a number out of my ass that I read from another.
It's a lot.
An actual journalist.
It's a lot more than all of us.
On the lower end of more than all of yous. On the lower end of the spectrum, let's say that it's $500K. This is $2 million of Silver Lake money that is now gone.
Mm.
And bear in mind, South Canterbury didn't have enough funds to get up to challenge for the Ranfurly Shield. Despite the fact that they're playing at Eden Park in a couple of weeks.
I don't think they'd pay out his entire contract. I don't think that's not really how those employment things work. I think they terminate it and they would agree a number. He doesn't get paid out his entire contract.
Yeah.
So it's not $2 million that's out the window. I think a good $500,000 would have been paid to him because he's now eligible to go and coach in Australia, coach in Japan or wherever.
Yeah.
So I think there would have been a number reached. But that's still quite a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Because how many assistant coaches has he got? 4?
1, 2, 3 that I can think of. 4, yeah. Yep. So again, this is a lot of, I don't know, what we had to deal with this Silver Lake thing for like 3 fucking years, and then what came out of it? We gave $2 million to Porridge McDonald, and then we got NFTs out of it.
Hey, they were Blackfern NFTs.
Yeah, well, is that part of the agreement? He can have all the NFTs.
The NFT scandal has really been swept under the whitewash have come in.
Oh, yeah.
And managed to get rid of that because that was the biggest rort. And whoever designed those NFTs,
God bless them,
and collected those millions of dollars.
God bless them. I had that was the most obvious one that I could tell was going to be a crock of shit from the get-go because no one could explain it to me, and it was all the dumbest people I knew that were trying to explain it to me.
Yeah, he took ice baths and were in
the whole
crypto.
thing.
Yeah.
Someone sat me down one day. I was just like, right, imagine this. There's an awesome party. All of your favorite influencers are there, but it's in the metaverse. And the only way you can get in there is if your profile pic is an NFT. I was like, I want you to know, I fucking hate every single thing you just said then. I hate all of I don't want to be in there.
You lost me at all your favorite influencers.
Yeah.
I don't have any.
It's like LeBron James is there. It's like, and I have to have a picture of a monkey as my profile picture?
But he's not there, is he? It's just his avatar's in there.
I know. I feel like it's going to go the other way. People want to be less online, you know?
Yeah.
I was in chat rooms in the early 2000s. It's not good.
No, it's not pretty, especially that chat roulette. Have you played that?
Oh, yeah. Chat roulette, Omegle, MSN Messenger back in the day, random Skidadja.
Well, the chat roulette one was fun for a bit until you go dink and there's a guy with his dick out.
Yeah, which was the first time you opened it.
Yeah.
and then every time subsequently from there on out. And all it was just dudes waiting for the off chance that there was a girl on there as well, which, by the way, there wasn't. And if there was, it was a video being played, then they'd cut the video and cut to themselves. Yeah, the early days of the internet was just fucking wild. You'd be like, oh, here's a cool picture of a car that you might like, or here's like your favourite Pokemon, and here's a dude being beheaded in a bush somewhere, and then now...
And here's guy's dick.
Yeah, then here's your favourite basketball highlight, and then here's another guy, he's, chopping his dick off. It's like, fucking hell. So you forgive me if I'm a little bit shell-shocked after all of that. But anyway, the long and short of that is give the NFTs to Porridge. Dan Evans in the US Open, which is going on at the moment, Lulu Sun withdrew with injury the other day. Dan Evans has won the longest match at the US Open since tiebreakers were introduced in 1970. He beat a bloke by the name of Karen, and it took him 5 hours, 35 minutes.
Oh.
That is ridiculous.
Well, put money on him losing the next game.
I was just going to say, what are his odds for the next game? We should talk about this on the sportsbook tomorrow.
Yeah.
If he hasn't played already.
Because a 5.5 hour game.
That is brutal. That is absolutely brutal, you know? Like, I don't think I could do anything for 5 hours and still have my wits about me.
Drink? Oh, no, you wouldn't have your wits about you.
I don't know. I'll try it tomorrow. But I think that, like, you could... That's longer than any Lord of the Rings movie. You know, when you finish watching a Lord of the Rings movie, you have to stand up and stretch. You're like, oh, fuck. Hell, that was long.
Your eyes hurt.
That's the extended cuts, too. You just about get through half of Harry Potter in that time. 5.5 hours is preposterous. They need to come up with a different way to do that than just letting these boys go.
Well, yeah, they've dug their own grave on that one. The ideal. I haven't watched any of the US Open.
No, neither.
Usually I'd sneak in a little bit, but it's completely gone off the radar. I'm almost sported out with the Olympics. I'm taking a break.
Yep.
All Blacks are on. Warriors last game. I've kind of let this one slip through to the keeper.
Well, they're also still in the early doors, so...
Yeah, right.
But you're right. And there was also tennis very recently at the Olympics. It was like when Lydia Ko was playing that golf tournament. No one knew she was even playing it. And then they're like, oh, she won? Awesome. It is Thursday, so let's go for a Throwback Thursday. And today I'd like to throw it back to our most successful Paralympics campaign of all time because, of course, overnight the Paralympics opening ceremony was on. We're underway now over there in Paris. Our most successful, by gold medal standards, Summer Paralympics was 2016. And you will remember that one because Sophie Pascoe won 3 gold medals, 2 silvers. But it was also the one where Liam Malone burst onto the scene.
Yeah.
So he won the men's 200 metres, and then he got a silver in the men's 100 metres as well. I actually saw Liam Malone this morning at the gym. I go quite often. And the brilliant thing about, like, one of the great things about not having legs for him or having artificial legs is he can pick what height he is. So, like...
So he can be a short king or a...
Yeah, he's about 6'5" when he walked in today. So God bless you, I would too.
Mind you can't get too carried away over it. As he'd start to look like a bit of a kind of a guy on stilts. He'd look like a carny. If he turned up with like 2 meter or 1.5 meter artificial legs, he's going to look a bit carny. You've got to keep it in proportion.
You do, but also if you're a plasterer and you have ceilings to plaster,
yes,
that would be a massive advantage.
What's he up to these days, Liam Malone? Is he interested in some
I think it was
work?
a back session this morning.
Oh, okay.
Just lats and,
just pull downs.
Some rows, some pull downs.
Yeah.
Some low rows. No, I'm not sure what he's doing. I did produce a podcast that he was on, and I didn't listen to a single second of what he was talking about.
I heard he's quite a good speaker. I've heard him.
He's a great speaker.
He speaks at a few corporate functions.
And a very intelligent dude.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he's got some smart guy job. But also run real quick. And in 2016, he ran faster than anyone else over 200 metres. But Sophie Pascoe was winning so many golds. I was living in a flat in Timaru. I think I've told this story before, but when she was winning them, this was on a Sunday morning.
So you're vulnerable.
Desperately hungover. About 6 of us lying in this flat in Timaru. The guy that owned the flat was an electrician, and he pulled a aircon unit out of one of the houses he was working on and installed it in his own because it was leaky. And so if you sat in the corner that was underneath the aircon, you had to put like a rain jacket on or something because it would just dribble all over you. And so I'm lying underneath that in a rain jacket. And then on TV, she gets up. She's winning her 3rd gold medal, Dame Sophie Pascoe. She's crying. They cut to her parents in the crowd. They're crying. Cut to me in the corner. I'm sitting in a rain jacket underneath an aircon unit leaking on me. I'm crying. Look over at my mate. He's crying. He looks at me. Oh, you crying, bro? Yeah, you are too, mate.
No, I'm actually just covered in air conditioning fluid.
Yeah. Yeah, which is the condensation of all of your breath. So, yeah, that was my memory of the 2016 Paralympic Games. I played a game of charades recently with a member of the Alternative Commentary Collective who shall remain nameless. And the person he got to act out was Dame Sophie Pascoe.
Yeah.
And he put one arm behind his back and swum.
Oh.
And obviously no one got it. And then right at the end we were like, who was it? And he goes, Sophie Pascoe. So she is missing a leg, not an arm. So yeah, just if you're playing any charades this weekend, one to be
Well, watch out for that.
One to be wary of. It's also Thursday, so we need to put our game day hunch on. Lane, what do you got?
Yeah, well, it's probably I'm going to park the Warriors. I think it's All Blacks in South Africa. Mm-hmm. Quite a big challenge in South Africa. I was trying to look out some stats. New Zealand have won 26 matches in South Africa. South Africa have won 25. It's pretty tight.
Really?
Yeah, in New Zealand, it's the record's much. It's like All Blacks 33, Springboks 10. So it's quite even over there and always quite tight. But I think it's going to be a turgid affair.
Yeah.
I think New Zealand go over there. They don't go over as favourites at all, paying 270 at the moment.
We just lost to Argentina.
So I don't think they'll get a hiding. I think it'll be close, but I think in Joburg, I think the Brocs are probably going to get up. I don't think they're going to score much. So my hunch, which I think would put our $100 bonus bet on, is less than 50.5 points total.
Okay.
So, because I think it's going to be fairly turgid. Mm-hmm. And don't hate me, but I'm going South Africa 1-12.
Happiness insurance.
Yeah, a little bit, because I think it's going to be tight. But Joburg's going to be difficult for the All Blacks. I think my gut says if they lose this one, they'll win in Cape Town, the All Blacks.
I agree with that.
But
I would also say if I asked you, 3 weeks ago after we'd just lost to Argentina, how you thought we'd go against South Africa, you would have said South Africa 13+.
Yeah, and seeing them demolish Australia
with a B team.
Yeah, but this is one of these games. I know it's a cliche. They always get up for the South Africans, but it is the world's biggest rugby rivalry. Hands down. They've been playing since 1921. It took till 96 for the All Blacks to actually win a series in South Africa. So it's brutal. It is. What's the biggest rivalry in football in the world? Is it Brazil, Argentina?
Auckland FC versus the Phoenix.
Yes.
I think
it is.
From what I'm hearing.
But I think it's not one of those things where I think there'll be a blowout. So that's what I'm going, under 50.5, and South Africa 1-12. That's paying, I'll just put it into my phone, 482.
Okay. Powerful.
So it's not bad. That's not bad. It is a little bit of happiness insurance because, if they get up, good on them. But I think if they do get up, it's only going to be by a smidge.
Yeah. All right, let's take one last break. Follow that bet in responsibly, by the way, and we'll come back with yours, please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
4 of them to get through today, Lane. First caller, yours, please.
Gents, greetings from Perth. On AFL players in the NFL, I think the first was Darren Bennett as a punter back in the late 90s, early 2000s. Then Sav Rocker from Collingwood, Ben Graham, who used to captain Geelong. And as of this year, there was Mitch Wishnowsky playing for the 49ers in the Super Bowl.
How could I forget Wishnowsky?
That's a lot more than I thought, but it makes sense, really, because those Aussie rules players can fucking punt a ball.
Yeah. Ben Graham was the one I was thinking of.
You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It's a different ball, but yeah, there's a long, proud history of AFL players going over there and punting in the NFL. But like we were saying yesterday, I don't think anyone's going to make it as a running back or wide receiver.
Yeah, well, they've got a better record than rugby players, haven't they, in the AFL? Because a lot of rugby players have actually cracked it.
Yeah. Better than rugby league as well. But at a very specific part of the game. That's the weird part about American sports in general, but mostly NFL. It's so specialised.
Yeah.
Like a punter is not like any other football player. They don't do bugger all. And the goal kicker, even more so, he plays a different game than everyone else.
Yeah.
That's why everyone gets so hard up the goal kicker if they miss.
One job, mate.
Yeah, that's literally all you do. You've been warming up on the sideline this entire game. I've been out there getting my neck snapped.
Yeah, but with the kicker, I can see where things can go wrong. Like the snap, the guy places it.
There's a bit of jeopardy.
You're relying on that, and if you miss, the guy who snapped it might have gone a bit wide. He might have not put it down in time.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of, I'm sure, 10 out of 10 if it's placed correctly in the snap, then it'll go on the tee or go over. But yeah.
It is a weird. I know Larry David's talked for the longest time about they should get rid of the posts in NFL. That's where I got the idea to get rid of them in rugby and rugby league. But it's the most glaring in NFL. It's a completely different game.
Yeah.
It's like not even the same thing. And why do they always kick from straight out in front? Anyway, greater minds than ours. Another caller here, yours please.
G'day fellas, me again. You're probably sick of me. You guys missed something. South Canterbury's coming to the big smoke. Playing the Horowhenua, Foxton Fizz. How come the NZ Rugby couldn't do that for the Ranfurly Shield?
Great point.
Seems rigged. Seems a bit racist. And Manakas, save your life story for a book when you're about 40 odd and go on every single podcast and talk about it for 6 months. Love yous all.
That seems to be the way, isn't it? If you release a book, you just go on tour, don't you?
Yeah.
You go through the washing machine.
Yeah, you go through the car wash,
Yeah.
get interviewed by every single person, tell the same story.
Yeah. So South Canterbury coming to the big smoke, coming to play at Eden Park.
Why?
I don't know. Actually, playing Horowhenua
Kapiti, yeah.
in Auckland. I don't know. Maybe is it a curtain raiser to another game? But bad news is you're away.
I will be in Germany at that stage, I believe.
We're on the Export Ultra Beer Garden tour, so unfortunately we're not going to be here.
That's my chance to see South Canterbury play.
But that's true. Why didn't they, for a Ranfurly Shield, they should host that Ranfurly Shield Challenge, Heartland, at Eden Park every year.
Yeah.
That should be a tradition.
Fourth straight Heartland rugby title, now Grace Hello Turf or Eden Park. I don't know why. They've been trying to make it work for a few years, apparently. Horowhenua Kapiti chief executive reckoned. But, okay, so we can get them flying up to Auckland to play a team from Wellington.
It's cheaper. Cheaper to fly to Auckland.
Yeah, it is, than to get to Hawke's Bay.
Yeah. And it must be a curtain raiser to another game, just to,
Why? Why must it?
Well, I'm talking about cost, that's why. Because I'm saying if there's a game on already in terms of security, stadium operations, you're best to have more than one game. That's all I'm saying.
I have seen the crowds that turn out to Auckland games at Eden Park.
They still get
They look like curtain raisers.
They still shut down all the roads. They still fly the stadium with security.
Ambitious. It's so Auckland rugby to be like, we need to shut the streets down.
It's not. I don't think it's Auckland rugby. I think it's the council's requirement.
There's
of the
more
stadium.
people in the fucking paddock than there are in the stands. Did you shut the roads down for them to get the training? Like, relax. Anyway, I don't know why that's. Why couldn't that be the Shield Challenge?
Yeah, anyway.
Again, greater minds than ours. Another caller here. Yours, please.
Yeah, g'day, fellas. It's Horatio Ringbinder here. Just want to talk about the Manaia Stewart work history a little bit, and I reckon you guys should do like a ESPN 30 for 30 deep dive into Manaia's work history. That'd be absolutely fabulous. Maybe get someone like Tim Morrison to do the voiceover for it. I reckon it'd be a bloody hit. Cheers, guys.
A regular contributor, Horatio Ringbinder. I must admit, 10 out of 10 for quality.
Yeah.
In terms of his recording, he knows what he's up to. He's gone into a quiet space with a little echo and nailed it.
30 for 30 doco. They've pitched a book, a documentary.
Yeah.
I can't read, and subsequently I can't write, so that's probably ruling the book out.
Well, you get someone to ghostwrite it.
Oh, is that what people do?
But I'm lifting the covers.
What?
They don't really write their own books.
What do you mean?
I know, it's shocking, isn't
You're
it?
telling me when someone puts a book out.
It's shocking.
I'm just looking at some of the books in front of us.
Yep. Well, Christmas in Rarotonga. John Wright didn't write it. Got ghostwritten.
Okay, so Dylan Cleaver is about to write my my life's history.
There you go. He's the best in the business.
Narrated by Tim Morrison.
Yeah.
Be powerful. 30 for 30, I suppose you'd have to spend a minute on each job and then get through them all. I think we've got one more caller. Yours, please.
You know why you fellas are the top sports adjacent podcasts in the country? Because fuck, that's the most information I've heard about a boat sinking anywhere. I didn't really care too much about it, but now I've heard all of this. Shit, I'm invested. I might do my own research, talk to my local mechanic, my local diesel mechanic. We're going to get into this.
Oh, do you know what? And I've read some more. When they raise this boat from the bottom, this Bayesian, that's when they're going to know what's going on. Because if it was blown up by, or if it was some sort of assassination, there's going to be evidence on that boat that they go, hey, how come the side of the hull's blown out during a water spout?
It was a downspout that came out of the clouds, and yet the hull's been blown up.
And I think the suspicions around why did all the crew survive except the chef, and all the passengers died?
Because he wasn't cooking very good meals recently.
So this is it carries on, this whole drama.
There's a lot there. I do think it's all incidental, but if you wanted to put your tinfoil hat on.
Oh, like you're saying, in 48 hours, both
dudes died.
Both dudes died in not in suspicious circumstances. They didn't, they didn't.
First guy was out for a run. I also read a bit more on this. I'm captivated by it now. The guy that hit the dude that was running was actually a woman. It was sort of like an older woman, and she's cooperating fully with the investigation.
Okay.
So I do think that it was just like, Nans hits a pedestrian.
Oh, yeah, true, actually. and it's a hard sell.
Yeah.
Like them going up to some old lady and goes, do you drive this route often? Here is $1 million. Run this guy down.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Although, if you want a plausible deniability.
Yeah, and also if you're just retiring, you want to set your grandkids up.
It's easier to do than generating a downspout.
Or also easier than putting some plutonium in a cup of tea. Yeah, anyway.
So do your own research into all of that, but it's fun to think about.
Yachting's a sport. It's kind of sports adjacent, isn't it? Yachting, Bayesian.
Oh, yachting is a sports adjacent activity. Yeah, definitely.
Hey, I heard Ben Ainsley got robbed.
Oh my God! Yes, I didn't even bring this up. I know we've put an embargo on actual America's Cup updates. I think until we're racing.
I reckon it's American Cup adjacent, and this is America's Cup adjacent.
Sir Ben Ainsley, and I don't like when people get knighted before they finish their career, but Sir Ben Ainsley had his Rolex taken off him at knife point in Barcelona.
Okay, couple of things. Anyone who's been to Barcelona, you do not go around flashing your riches.
No,
at all. You don't even have like a camera hanging around your neck or a bag.
AirPods in.
Yeah, none of that. So to roll around in your Rolex.
Oh, mate, you're asking for it. And it's the most sailing thing of all time. I'm trying to find out exactly how much it was. There was a figure there. Yeah, $35,000 watch he had.
Fuck!
It was a Rolex.
That
which was a gift. I don't think he bought
an
that.
Absolute winner for the mugger.
Oh, I know.
He's like, woo, jackpot.
Rolex.
35 grand. He would, but disappointingly for Ben Ainsley, the mugger would have sold it for $100.
Yeah.
100 euros.
Yeah.
10 minutes later to some pawn shop, and the pawn shop's like, yeah, giddy up.
Yeah, and they sell that for about $5,000, and the world keeps spinning. But I just love that it's like there couldn't be a bigger advertisement for, hey, there's heaps of rich guys over here. And now I think if I'm a robber, or if I've just got like a job that requires me to have a box cutter, I'll probably be hanging around the docks there and just like waiting for someone to come out. What a nice watch, mate.
Well, you watch now. They're all going to have armed security. I guarantee it.
That was the first thing that they did was they upped security around the whole thing. If anyone's in the market for a cheap Rolex, head over to Barcelona. You can find one there. All right, let's knock this thing on the head. We'll be back tomorrow for a bumper Friday. We have the ACC Sportsbook powered by the TAB. Carl Tiley will be back in the studio, and we're going to be talking to the Camo Kid, Ian Jones.
Yeah, right. And we're going to be doing it from the All Blacks experience. Yep. Up there in Sky City. So looking forward to that. Yep.
Get his thoughts on playing in South Africa from someone who actually did it. Why our line-out seems to have been bad and then come right from someone who was excellent and then went bad again. What actually happened with Razor.
Yeah.
All that and probably considerably less tomorrow on the Agenda Podcast. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda Podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.